what I did is I invite all the teachers in Croatia to stop giving homework for 30 days and to see the results after 30 days. Are our students going to be better, worse, the same? It became viral in the whole Croatia and being shown on television, in newspaper. And what have been shown that after a month, the students did not have less knowledge, but instead they were showing more creative traits. The level of stress went down for the students as well as for the parents. So the goal of that whole thing was actually to remind teachers that the playfulness should be the core, the basic elements of teaching.
What's your name? Where are you from? And what do you do?
My name is Marko. I'm from Croatia, and I have a non-profit for ADHD, so an organization that supports people and children with ADHD. And I also have a business. My main income comes from the importing biofeedback technology from the America to the Croatia neighbor countries, and that technology helps people with certain neurodiversities, including ADHD, autism, to diminish the negative symptoms. And through that technology, they can kind of really train their focus and therefore become better in certain areas.
Do you have ADHD yourself?
Yes. I fall into that category, yes.
How this your project happened?
I had a lot of problems in the school, so I was one of the usually the baddest, how do you say, the worst students in the classroom, and it affected my confidence, and I was really not liking myself. And at the age of 22, my friend told me about the ADHD, and I looked it up on the internet, and I saw the symptoms, and all of a sudden, all my life in a way had more sense, because I could explain for the first time in my life all the problems that I had in my life. And then I started researching about ADHD. The more I researched, the more I understood myself, and I actually also realized that environment in which I was growing up was not very supportive, especially the school educational system. And therefore I decided, I had this urge inside of me to kind of start talking publicly about ADHD. And so I was actually the first one in my country that started publicly talking about ADHD. I started to do these presentations. I was like, I was maybe in more than 500, 600 schools only in Croatia, and then people kind of liked it, and then it kind of spread away, and so I ended up being very much engaged in this ADHD field. I also wrote a book on that matter. It's like Hyperactive Dreamers, and at one point I was also vice president of the ADHD Europe. It's a European organization that connects all the non-profits in the Europe. So I was able to travel a lot, speak at many conferences, and actually overall raise awareness about that problem, and most importantly, really teaching teachers how to be more empathetic, how to be more open, and how to be able to make those children strive better in that system.
So basically you're trying to help kids like you were before, but for the kids who has the problems right now when they're small.
Yes, I mean everything, all my talks and usually presentations and the way I teach teachers is actually through my personal experience. So I'm just actually telling what would help me if I was in the classroom. So, and I told my personal story. So I explain ADHD through life anecdotes, which makes the whole ADHD more closer to them. I don't just talk about the 1, 2, 3, 4. I put in stories. And
Can you tell one anecdote right now? Possible to take out of the context and take one of the anecdotes that you usually tell?
for example, when I was little, we had to start reading books, and you need to read the book for the assignment. And I read the book within 3 days, and I came to my mom after I read the book, and I said, "Okay, mom, I just read this book. I'm gonna go and play, do my stuff." And she said, sure, okay, no problem, but first tell me what you have been reading about. And I looked at her, I looked at the book, and I said, oh my God, come on, I was just reading this book for 3 days. Don't tell me that I need to know what is about, so which meant that I was reading, but as soon as I read the second sentence, my mind started wandering, and I stopped really understanding what's in the book, but I started to think about other stuff that were not related to what I was reading. So actually I was just reading without not knowing what I was reading. So that inattention aspect was very present in the classroom, was very present in daily activities. I was like in my own bubble, daydreaming in my own world, and it was sometimes very hard to shut down that world, to make it quiet in order to listen and to pay attention on what was going on around me. So
Oh my God, I have ADHD. We had a conversation the other day with another person that we have a suspicion that most of a lot of nomads who live nomadic lifestyle and travel and constantly seeking for new adventures people, they have actually ADHD.
yes, that's true actually, because people ask me what I do and I mention ADHD, so we end up talking about ADHD and usually ask them, do you have ADHD? And my conclusion is that I would say 80% of the people that I have talked have ADHD, and that is like 80% of diagnosed ADHD, maybe 85% of people that all combined, diagnosed and thinking that might have an ADHD. So this way of the lifestyle, being nomadic, traveling the world, living outside of that metrics, that typical 9 to 5 job or whatever, that really fits the mindset of somebody who is neurodiverse, who is different, especially with ADHD. So yeah.
Do you think it's like a disease that can be cured, healed? Or is it something that we have accept and embrace and just learn how to live with this?
No, I don't think that's necessarily like a disorder. I don't think that's a deficit. I think more it's just being different. It's like a neurodiversity. It's simply a brain that functions in a different way, that absorbs the information in a different way, that processes the information in a different way. And once the someone finds the way how they function, and once they kind of are able to build the lifestyle that fits their needs, they can really show huge potential. So I just think that it's just a personality, specific type of the personality that brings a lot of challenges. But once you find the way you function, you can really achieve a lot.
Do you think that nomadic lifestyle is the way to make everything work for people who has ADHD?
I mean, not for everyone. It's not like 100% general rule for everyone, but I would say mostly yes. Just having that freedom and being surrounded with a lot of stimulation. And like stimulation actually is kind of something that is a fuel for people with ADHD. Stimulation meaning that when they're doing something that they're passionate about, that they're interested in, then that's kind of that interest kind of stimulates their brain and it makes them more awake. They have more the capacity to control their thoughts, to hold the thoughts, to not be as attentive, and to really go into the hyper focus, to really go into the detail, in the depth of certain matter, and that is usually very important for people with ADHD to kind of understand that and to kind of build the lifestyle that gives them enough of stimulation so they can really flourish. And especially this nomadic lifestyle, I would say, brings a lot of that. That's why you find in let's say in 9 to 5 jobs, you won't find as much ADHD people, but you will find a lot of ADHD people in show business, music industry, in the firefighters, in the entrepreneurships. So in those type of the areas where there is a lot of there is a level of stress, there's a lot of dynamic, a lot of things happening, which stimulates the brain and actually makes them become more productive, very efficient, but at the same time having a lot of problems with doing that mundane, boring tasks.
Can I ask you how the non-profit organization can actually make money?
Well, I have a very specific model. So my non-profit organization is in Croatia, and there is a specific ways non-profit organizations in Croatia function. But I'm not functioning in that way because for me it's I don't know, I don't like it, and it does not. It's like for me actually in a way very boring, which is typical. You ask for grant for the ministry or from the government. You apply a certain project, then you are waiting to get the money. Once you get the money, you start that project. I was working like that, but in a way I'm combining the non-profit in a way with the business. In a way, non-profit is kind of has has some elements of marketing of my business, but then again, the money that I make from the business, I also put it back into the non-profit. So it's like a loop. It's like a perfect loop that fits together. And now, to be honest, I am doing the non-profit just to make some changes in the school, to kind of sometimes I invite, for example, I did invite teachers because parents are always coming to me and telling, oh my God, we have so much problems with homework because our kids don't have enough of attention after the school. They get tired, they have to do this extra homework, so many activities. And the thing is that if you overstimulate the brain, if you put so much things that someone needs to do, the brain stops learning, stops growing. And in order for a brain to learn, it needs to be playful, it needs to play, it needs to have some freedom, it needs to have some space. And that's what we do. Actually, what I did is I invite all the teachers in Croatia to stop giving homework for 30 days and to see the results after 30 days. Are students going to be better, worse, the same? And actually, it became viral in the whole Croatia, and it was like many teachers like went in there. It was like being shown on television, in newspapers, and what have been shown that after a month, the students did not have less knowledge, but instead they were showing more creative traits. The level of stress went down for the students as well as for the parents at home. So the goal of that whole thing was actually just to remind teachers that that the playfulness should be the core, the basic elements of teaching. So the most effective way to learn something is through the playfulness. So meaning it has to be engaging, it has to be fun, and I think we did with that project, we did quite a bit big impact.
Can I come back to my question? How you're able to raise income and budget for the nonprofit to make it keep going? Is it coming from also supports from your second business when you sell physical products?
Well, now actually because I'm doing online education for the device that actually I'm also selling. So that is the main income of the organization that is coming. So every 4 times per year we are organizing online education for professionals that wants to educate themselves on how to use that device, that machine that I'm selling, and after they finish that course, they get a certificate. So all of that income goes to the non-profit. Also, part of it is also coming from the book that I have wrote. So the book is being sold through the non-profit, and so far it's that. And actually, to be honest, I am not like, if somebody really wants to donate, it's okay, but I'm not asking for any donations, or we are doing okay, yes.
Tell me about second part of when you selling these devices. Is it you started to support non-profit, or you started it to actually have financial incoming budget so you can support the non-profit? What's the story behind it?
Well, there are many elements, but maybe I can say this angle, this perspective that I think it's very important for me, and that is when you do not only the business, it's not only the money that you make, but it's also the impact that you do to society, which for me it's the biggest trigger. So that's what makes me going, and the money usually comes along with it. So what we are actually doing is that we are putting that devices, it's like this biofeedback technology. It's already in 40 schools in Croatia. That allows schools to provide their students with direct and free of charge access to the tool through which kids can improve their cognitive skills, which is very, very important, which means that they can become better in focusing, they have a better control of their emotions, they start to have better even social skills. And that is something that has never happened in the school system in history of Croatia. So we are doing something that nobody has done before. And actually, the whole goal in a way is to kind of implement that technology in the schools, so that, for example, you have kids have mathematics, they have like biology, they have physical activity, and also they have the activities through which they train their mental focus. So that that thing becomes like a part of the curriculum, so that kids, when they go to the school, they don't go and just learn some random, to be honest, irrelevant information that you can just Google it within like 6 seconds, but they also go to the school in which they can really train their body, and also they can train their mind, and they can really become the best version of themselves. So this is just kind of the beginning stage of I would say some changes in school system that I would like to do. Yes.
Did you invent this device, or you just found something that was available and you understand that it can be suitable for your goals?
I did not invent. I found something that was already usable. It is like American product, but I think it's very actually good. Sometimes I think, oh my god, why didn't I think of that? But it's very actually complex. But when you use it, it's very simple. And I found it's like maybe 12, 13 years ago, while I was at one conference in London, and I decided to kind of use that machine within my non-profit. One news reporter saw that we are doing within my organization, we are doing with this device, and he asked me, can she do the interview? And I said okay. And I thought it's gonna be like a little article, but it ended up like a big, like 3 pages in this major newspaper in Croatia. And after that article, I got a lot of phone calls how they can buy this machine, how they can get this device, and that's how I began to be like a distributor for that device. So I decided to kind of open my company and really go into this business.
I'm so impressed how one article can actually change the direction of your project.
Really, I mean, the whole direction. You know, I was many times already, because I was publicly speaking about ADHD. So, you know, many times, news reporters, they want to like really cover the story, or so I already had some contacts within the media. So I was not kind of surprised that it was, but I was a little bit surprised that it was like a way bigger article than I expected. Yeah, it kind of that started the whole thing, and I'm still in there.
That's impressive. Do you understand correctly that you are combining this project with location-independent lifestyle? You travel quite a lot. How long you actually spend in Croatia?
Well, last year I spent more months outside in Croatia, so in Thailand than in Croatia. This year I spent most of the months in Croatia, because I just wanted to more focus on some projects and my business. But now I am sailing away, and actually, yes, I'm not sure when I will come back. I'll just go with the flow. But that's the big change of me becoming nomadic happened during the pandemic, while I was in. I traveled to Vietnam, and my plan was to just stay for 1 month, like a tourist, like just go 1 month and come back. And I entered the Vietnam in March 2020, where the pandemic started, and everybody told me don't go. But I did go. They closed the borders. My return flight got cancelled, and out of the plan of my plan was to stay for 1 month, and I stayed for a year and a half in Vietnam. And in that year and a half, everything changed, and I managed to put everything online. I met so many nomads that were traveling the world for like months and years, and for me it was like how do they do it? Like I wanna live like that, and actually pandemic in a way helped me live this lifestyle that I'm living now, and that's how it all started. Yes, I'm here. I have the emails. I have some invites to some conferences. I have some invites to give some talk in some certain areas, which I cannot, because I am here at the ship.
Yay! About the ship. Do you remember the moment when you first time found out about Nomad Cruise and you realized like I have to be there as well?
Yeah, actually, the first time I found out Nomad Cruise was one girl from Serbia. She told me about it, and I didn't know much about it, and I thought like I never done something like that, and I liked the route because I never been to Vancouver, to Alaska, I never been to Japan, so I was like, okay, let's do it. So I booked it. I was not really, for me it was far away, like okay, I'm gonna book it, but it's like far away, but I'm just gonna put a deposit and see. And yes, and here I am. Actually that girl eventually, she kind of canceled her trip, But it actually doesn't matter because it's nomads, so everybody are very open. It's easy to kind of get along and to start socializing with others. So here I am, and I really like it. I really like it.
Did you have any expectations before you went on the Nomad Cruise, and what you actually found out? Was it close enough to what you expected, or worse or better?
I really have zero expectation. I was actually, to be honest, I didn't even know what will be our route. So I knew we are living from Vancouver. I just knew the basic information that I need to be in Vancouver on the Sunday. The ship is leaving. I just made sure that I have visas if I need visas, and I really have no expectations. And I didn't want to really research much about it because I wanted to be like, let's see, like from the first, to have first impression. And I don't know, I'm very positive, influenced by the whole organization. All the activities that are happening around here, and all the speakers, all the things that are actually happening. It's like really wow. Some a part of me is thinking, how am I able to really explain this to my friends in Croatia that are not nomads?
You can try now.
I don't know. It's like,
Imagine that's your friend, that's your best friend.
so yeah. I mean, just the location, that just being on the ship, traveling where I'm traveling, it's crazy and enough. Just the ship itself, the food for me, it's amazing. Plus, on top of that, there's this specific type of the people that are very, I would say, successful, also open-minded, and I would say also very smart. So actually, there is not a single boring person around here that I would say like, oh my god, or they're very special type of the people. And the talks, like there's so many activities for the business, to improve your business, to work on yourself, to create a better version of yourself. You are also able to perform in their different areas. If you want, you can do a storytelling, you can have the talent act, whatever you all think that you would like to perform, you have the opportunity. So it's not only about just being passive and getting the information, it also provides you to kind of get out something of what you carry inside of you. So I think that's really amazing.
Did you have any aha moments when you were talking with someone, or you were listening or a talk or workshop, and you thought like, this is a brilliant, I need to do it too?
To be honest, I'm not sure, but now I'm in the phase of my life where I think I have like maybe too much ideas, and I don't want to get another one. And because all of the ideas that I have, it's not that I make them into the reality. So now I'm trying to really, let's say, more focus on some of the ideas that I have, and not get new ones in there. But I think that if I was more in tune, and if I have been more on the sessions, I would definitely get some insights, some new ones. Yes.
Are you going to come back to Nomad Cruise?
Yes, I would definitely say yes. I like it.
What is your big question that you are struggling and trying to find the answer for, whether it's relationships, mindfulness, business, anything?
I want to just try to be more in the moment, and like really not force anything, just kind of be in the flow, let the synchronicity around me work it out. Because I have found out when I'm sometimes trying to push, when I'm trying to be a little bit like aggressive, I mean, eventually you can get it, but there's a lot of energy that you get out. So I'm really trying in tune in how I feel. So if I feel to socialize, I will socialize. If I don't feel to talk with someone, I won't force it. And I think that everything will be aligned perfectly, that I will get in this way everything that I need to get in perfect timing, perfect order, and actually so far it's going quite well. So that's the thing that I'm kind of exploring right now.
Last question about the budget. How much money do you plan monthly when you travel? For example, you know that you are expecting to spend like about 2, 3 thousand or four. Do you have such budget in mind?
No, to be honest. I mean, I don't travel very expensively. Maybe this is the no, yeah. But when I travel, I usually don't book like 5-star hotels, and when I go to the cities, I prefer to go with the buses and underground than with the taxis, because I get to know the place better. So I don't mind doing that. I also don't actually calculate much how I spend. I mean, approximately I know how much I can spend, and I'm relatively within that budget. So
So what is the budget?
it depends. If I am if
from to do?
If I'm, let's say, in Thailand, Thailand is not that expensive. So to be honest, when I'm in Thailand, I really don't look how much I spend. I don't know. It can be 1,000. It can be between 1,000 and 2,000. So here in this during this travel, I will spend more. Because of the plane tickets and everything. And now when I will be in Japan, I don't know how much will I spend, and I don't have budgets. Yeah, I just spend.
Wow, that's a beautiful mindset. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
That
you.
was lovely. Can I have a hug?
Yes, yes.